when you draw the pentagon, I told you, I'm repeating it. How should you draw the pentagon? So in order to draw pentagon, the first thing that you will do is you will draw this line. First thing is you will draw this line. Okay. Whichever line you want to draw, you can start with any line. But now since we are drawing the pentagon with line vertical here, so I am starting with this line. What should be the dimension of this line? 35. Okay, why 35? Because it is given that this should be 35. Base edge is 35. Then after that, you have to draw a line like this. Line like this of any length. Any length. At what angle? This angle should be 108 degree. Similarly, draw a line here in this direction, and this angle should be 108 degree. Okay, then next what you do, you take compass, and in compass you take a distance of how much? You take a distance of 35. Why 35? Because this is 35, this is 35. Okay, so you take a distance of 35 and keep one leg of the compass here and cut an arc here like this on this line. Similarly, keep one leg of the compass at this point, on this point, and cut an arc like this. So you got two more edges. So how many edges we got right now? 1, 2 and 3. We got 3 edges. Then we want the remaining 2 edges. Sorry, we want the remaining 2 edges. For that, what will you do? Again, keep the same radius or distance in the compass. Keep one leg of the compass at this point and draw arc like this. Draw arc like this. Okay. We know exactly we don't know, but somewhere here we are going to get this point. Then keep another leg of the compass here, keep one leg of the compass here at this point like this, and then cut the arc. So you will get one more point here, and then this is how you get the pentagon. So I noticed that few of the students are not able to draw pentagon correctly, or maybe that they have drawn it freehand just for the sake of drawing. I don't know. It's your lookout. But then pentagon should be drawn like this. Okay, if you make mistake in drawing pentagon, it will be percolated in each and every sketch. So सब गलत होते जाएगा. After drawing this pentagon, this is to be drawn. Now understand that marks are given on this also, on this point. Which point? Whether it is resting on HP, so is it touching the XY line? When I say it is resting on HP, the front view should touch the XY line. So you can see here the front view is touching the XY line. This is to be carefully noticed. Also, if it is resting on VP, then the top view should touch the XY line. Top view should touch the XY line. Okay, this you have to take care of. So this is clear to all of you. Then when from 1, then we dot 2. After 2, when you draw 3. After 2, when you draw 3, then at that point, see, this is 2. This is 2. So I am drawing this 2 for here, 2 for you here again. This is 2. It is something like this, 2, correct? Now, since this is a rectangle, this angle should be 90 degree. This angle should be 90 degree. Okay, this angle should be 90 degree. All these angles should be 90 degree since it is a rectangle. And what is this distance? What is this distance? It's not known to us. We have not measured this distance, but this distance has been obtained from this here to here. It is this distance. So, okay. And what is this vertical distance? What is this vertical distance? That is equal to, yes, 60. That is equal to 60. That is axis of the cylinder, axis of the prism. Now, when you draw it in this view, you just have to tilt it like this so that the angle remains the same. Angle remains the same. So how will you draw it? In order to draw it, what you should do? Just a minute. So next thing is you have to draw it. You know that one of the point has to be one of the point has to be on the XY line. So first I'm drawing it like this is the XY line. You start with this point. Now we know the name of this point. Which is this point? I think it is A dash B dash, correct? A dash B dash. So this point will be A dash B dash. A1 dash B1 dash. Okay. Next, what are you doing? You are tilting it. You are tilting it. To what angle? To what angle? In this question, angle is not given, but what is given in this question? In this question, it is given that this point, which is this point 1 dash 2 dash, should be at a distance of 35 from the base, from the HP. Okay, so we exactly don't know the angle, but we know that this point should be at 35 mm from the HP. So we ultimately can find the angle. We can find the angle, but we are not interested here to find the angle. We are interested to tilt it. So while tilting it, how will you tilt? First, you should draw this line. This line. Okay. Now, in order to draw this line, what you should know? You should know the angle. What is the angle that this line is making with the XY line or HP? No, we don't know the angle, but we know that this point should be at a distance of 35 mm. So what I will do is I will draw a line like this. And what is the distance here? This distance is 35 mm. 35 mm. And I know that this point should come at what distance? 35 mm. And like this, so I will take this distance in compass, that is 16 compass. I will keep one point of the compass here and another leg of the compass here like this, and I will get 2 points, and I can join this like this. Now, after drawing this, when you are drawing this angle should be 90 degree. This angle should be 90 degree. I hope you can measure the 90 degree angle. Now, which point you are going to get here? D dash. Okay, from here, D dash, D dash. At what distance? So I told you we don't know this distance, but we know that it is this to this. So we can take it in the compass. Take this distance in compass. Keep one leg of the compass here and draw an arc on this line. So earlier this was a light line, and on this light line I have drawn the arc like this. So this point is what? D dash. And similarly, you can obtain another point C1 dash and E1 dash by taking the distance in the compass. Then again draw a vertical line from here. Vertical, no, not vertical. Again draw a line perpendicular to this, like this. And then draw a line. See, all this should be perpendicular to each other. You don't have to show this perpendicular sign. I am showing it just for your understanding. And you will get this. Okay, so now if I ask you to measure the angle, you can measure this angle. Say roughly I am writing it say 30 degree. Okay, just a hypothetical number, 30 degree. So if 30 degree is given, then you can draw it without drawing this horizontal line. If the question says that it is inclined to HP at 30 degree, then you can do it like this. So it's the same case. Instead of giving the angle 30 degree, they have given that this point will have distance of 35 mm from the HP, like this. So here students have made mistake. They have not drawn this rectangle, they are perpendicular to each other. These lines should be perpendicular to each other. Okay, so I don't think there should be any issue in this now. Just turning it like this. इसको थोड़ा tilt किया है, that's it. Then after this, from this to this, when you draw this, what I have noticed? I have noticed that, see, these are, what are these? These are projectors, correct? How many projectors we will get? 5 projectors. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now all these 5 projectors should be parallel to each other. How come you get a non-parallel line? You should not get non-parallel lines. It means you are not holding the roller scale properly, or you are not at all using the roller scale. Okay, so these lines should be parallel. If these lines are parallel, you just have to draw parallel lines in horizontal direction and draw vertical parallel lines from here. Wherever the points meet, you will get the respective number or nomenclature like this. Okay, after you do this, when you get 5th position from 4th position, so in order to get 5th position from 4th position, it is similar to get 3rd position from 2nd position. How we got 3rd position from 2nd position? We have just tilted it. इसको just tilt किया. What angle? At some degree or at some angle or some distance. बस इसको tilt किया. उसी तरह when you are getting this from this, you have just rotated this. इसको rotate किया. कितना angle से? 90 degree से. This is rotated like this. So after this is rotated, now there are no projections because this is rotated. There are no projections. How should you draw this? You start with any point. Okay, now you know that it has to be drawn like this. You start with any point. Suppose we start with this point D, this point D. Okay, so this is point D. Now from D, you have to draw this point E, C, and this is what A, B, E, C, A, B. So how will you draw this? Suppose, suppose I got this point, I got this point here, D. Now in order to draw this, and then a dotted, then two dotted lines like this, and then like this. How many distances will I need? I will need from this point, I will need this distance, I will need this distance, I will need this distance, and I will need this distance. So where will I get this distance from? Here, see, D. This is which point? This point is, suppose one point is, what is this? C. E, it is E. This is E, this is C, A and B. So what is the distance between point D and point E? What is the distance between point D and point E? You can see here, point D is here and point E is here. What is this distance? See, this is the distance. This is the distance. So take this much distance. Now if you don't do it by scale, don't do it by scale. If you do it by scale, what will happen? You will not get exact distance. You will make some mistake, or rather you will make error. Okay, 1 mm 2 mm का difference आ जाएगा. So what you do is, from point D, so from point D, you have taken this distance, vertical distance in the compass. Then from point D, draw a line like this and like this. Okay, all these are light lines, and on this line, cut an arc. Now, how much is this distance? How much is this distance? This distance is equal to this distance. Similarly, this point, take this much distance in the compass. How much distance? You take this much distance in the compass from here to here, and same distance you mark it on this line here, and then draw it like this. So you got point A. Similarly, you got point C, you got point B, and you get point C. So we have not actually obtained the position of E, A, B, and C. We have obtained that, understood that E will fall on this, A will fall on this line, B का distance इतना होगा और C का distance इतना होगा. So all these horizontal distances are done. Now we need to know vertical distance. Vertical distance मतलब this distance. How much is this distance? And we need to know how much is this distance. Okay, so these two distances we want now. Okay, so how will you get this distance? Now I was talking about this distance, this vertical distance. So how will you get this vertical distance? Where is this point E? D point is here. Then how much is this vertical distance? You can again take it in the compass. Which distance? See, this distance, this point to this point. Take this much distance in compass and draw a line like this. So you will get now intersection of these two lines will give you point E and C. Similarly, take this much distance in compass and intersection will give you point A and B. Once you do this, then you have to draw vertical lines like this, so that longer edges of pentagon are drawn. And follow the same thing for doing this. So it's a long process. It's not that easy, and unless and until you do, you will not understand it. Okay, so you do this first, and then draw vertical lines of what length? If you don't want, if you don't, now we don't know the length. So take this much distance in compass. Which distance? Here to here. Now this is same for all the lines. This is same for all the 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is same for all the longer edges. Take this much distance and you will get the corresponding points, and then you can draw this view. So if any doubt you have till this 1, 2, 3, 4, you can ask me. Or is it clear to you?
Sir, can you repeat this compass one, sir, again?
Okay, see, I am repeating it again. I don't have any issue, but this has been told up so many times till now. आज भी बताया, इसके पहले भी मैंने बताया. Now, why are you finding it difficult to understand? Because you may have not done it. You may have not done it on your own. Okay, so if you don't do it now also, what will happen? After a few days you will again ask me, sir ये कैसे करने का? So unless until you do it on your own, it will not be clear to you. So I am explaining this particular thing to you again. See, this point is D point that I have marked here, this point. Now from this D point, what I need is, I need four other points. So what are the distances? This is the distance of one point, that is say A. This is the distance of other point, say E. This is the distance of other point, say B. And this is the distance of other point, say C. Okay, so these are the vertical distances that I need, and also I need the horizontal distances. What are the horizontal distances? The horizontal distances are this. So this is the horizontal, sorry, this is the vertical distance. Sorry, and this is another distance. So these distances I need to take, this distances I need to take from this figure. Okay, so you can see this distance. Look into the figure here. This distance from here to here, this one is this distance, particular distance, and now this distance is this. It is this from here to here, from here to here. This distance. Okay, similarly, if you want vertical or horizontal distances, say this distance is now from D to this distance, and then from here to here this distance. So take these distances in compass and cut an arc on this lines like this. I'm sorry. Cut an arc here, cut an arc here, cut an arc here, and cut an arc here, and then project it vertically downward like this. So wherever these points meet, you will get the location A, B, C, D, and A, B, C, and E. D is already obtained. Okay, I hope it is clear to you now.
Sir, what distance the compass will take at as?
What
What
distance
length?
मतलब
No,
आयुष
what
क्या?
length? Sir, what length the compass will take to cut that arc?
आयुष आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड योर क्वेश्चन. व्हाट डिस्टेंस मतलब यहाँ से यहाँ तक का डिस्टेंस कंपास में लो, इतना डिस्टेंस कंपास में लो और इधर मार्क करो. सो व्हाट डिस्टेंस आई डोंट नो. नो वन नोज दिस डिस्टेंस. ये डिस्टेंस कितना है ये पता नहीं है, सिर्फ कंपास में लेना है और आर्क कट करना है.
नो सर, अंडरस्टूड मैं से वो पूछ रहा था कंपास कितना है, वो समझा सर.
सर और वो जो डी है उसका डिस्टेंस क्या है एक्स वाई लाइन से?
हाँ, ये कुछ भी हो सकता है. सी, इज इट मेंशन दैट दिस इज रेस्टिंग ऑन वीपी? नहीं मेंशन किया ना, ये टॉप व्यू में वीपी को रेस्ट कर रहा है, नहीं मेंशन किया ना, तो ये डिस्टेंस कुछ भी हो सकता है. ओके, this also was discussed earlier कि this distance should be anything but then front view should touch the xy line. Okay, once you get this मतलब ये मिल गया, इससे फिर ये मिलना तो easy है, just project the lines like this. So all these doubts which are coming to your mind are coming only because you have not done it on the paper properly. Okay, if you do it on the paper, then you will have different types of doubts and same question will student.
सर एक डाउट है.
हाँ पूछो.
सर वो फिगर 4 और फिगर 5 के डायमेंशन सेम है ना, बस वो फिगर 5 को मतलब रोटेट किया है.
हाँ प्रणय, फिगर 4 और फिगर 5 के डायमेंशन सेम है, और वो सेम कैसे रहेंगे? अगर यहाँ पे हम इसको कॉपी करके ये फिगर बन रहा है तो डायमेंशन सेम ही रहेगा ना.
जस्ट क्लियर.
हाँ, यहाँ पे भी ये फिगर को कॉपी करके ये फिगर बन रहा है, करेक्ट. जो 2 से लेके 3 में हमने किया, 2 से लेके 3 में जो हमने किया वही 4 से लेके 5 में करना है, तो डायमेंशंस पूरे सेम रहेंगे इसके.
ओके.
और यहाँ पर प्रोजेक्शंस नहीं आएगा, क्योंकि प्रोजेक्शंस कब आता है? जब उस पॉइंट का लोकेशन चेंज नहीं होता है, रेफरेंस से चेंज नहीं होता है ना. ये देखो अभी ये पॉइंट सी, बी, ए, इनका डिस्टेंसेस एक्स वाई लाइन से उतना ही है, इसलिए यहाँ से यहाँ तक प्रोजेक्शंस आया, बट यहाँ से यहाँ तक प्रोजेक्शंस नहीं आ सकता है. सो दिस आल्सो यू हैव टू रिमेंबर. ओके ओके, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन?
No sir.
So what I will suggest is, Now suppose you are solving this sum, okay? So कितना sums है projection of solid में? There are hundreds of sum, almost 150 200 sums रहेगा projection of solids में इसमें. So you cannot, no one can solve all these sums. But what you can do is at least few sums on projection of prism and projection of prism and projection of pyramid can be solved. इसका 2-3 sums through the scale solve करो. You cannot solve all the sums. तो practice में तो sketchbook में तो करना ही है. इसके अलावा you do it on the rough book. ये करो practice तो ही वो एग्जाम में समझेगा, वरना एग्जाम में समझेगा नहीं तुमको कि कहाँ पे कैसे करना है. आई एम रिपीटिंग इट अगेन, ठीक है? और बाकी सम्स को कैसे अंडरस्टैंड करना है, द वे आई एक्सप्लेन यू. देखो यहाँ पे कैसे एक्सप्लेन किया था मैंने, ऐसे सॉल्व करो, फिर इसको इंक्लाइन करो, ऐसे करके देखो सफिशिएंट है. बट ये सफिशिएंट कभी है, ये सफिशिएंट तभी है व्हेन यू सॉल्व एटलीस्ट 2-3 सम्स, एटलीस्ट 3 सम्स apart from the assignments on your own. I will send you a number of unsolved sums and you do it on your own. Okay, then only you will be able to do it quickly. Okay, वो 4 बार ड्रॉ करोगे पेंटागन तो पता रहेगा कि पेंटागन का एंगल 108 है. फर्स्ट टाइम ड्रॉ करोगे तो देखना पड़ेगा कहीं पे भी एंगल कितना है, 108 कितना है. हियर देयर इज वन टर्म हियर दैट इज सॉलिड डायगोनल. यू कैन सी हियर सॉलिड डायगोनल. सो बिफोर आई read this question, let me explain what is solid diagonal. सब लोगों ने क्यूब देखा होगा, क्यूब, रूब्रिक्स क्यूब सॉल्व भी किया होगा. आई एम नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन दैट, लेकिन रूब्रिक्स क्यूब तो सबने देखा होगा. तो रूब्रिक्स क्यूब इज समथिंग लाइक दिस. ओके, व्हाट विल यू नेम टू द रूब्रिक्स क्यूब? उसको क्या बोलेंगे तुम रूब्रिक्स क्यूब को? प्रिज्म बोलेंगे या पिरामिड बोलेंगे? और प्रिज्म है तो कौन सा प्रिज्म है? यस, स्टूडेंट्स.
Pyramid.
Okay, it is a pyramid. Why pyramid? Why pyramid? Why not prism? अच्छा, हम
अच्छा
जब
सर, आपने पहले वो ट्रायंगल दिखाया ना, इसलिए प्रिज्म लगा, सॉरी पिरामिड लगा.
okay, so it will be a prism. It will be a prism. Now this is a prism. Which prism? We consider it as a square prism. Square prism. Now a cube. Cube is also a square prism. Cube is also a square prism. And what is the speciality of this cube? Speciality of the cube is this is the side, these are the 4 sides of the cube. See, this is 20, this is 20, this is 20, this is 20, and these are the vertical faces of the cube. So this is also 20, 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 all are equal. Then it is a square prism. So this is a square prism, but this is a special case of square prism where this height is also equal to base edge. Height is also equal to base edge, so it is called as cube. Okay, this thing is clear to you now. Now I want to tell you what is a solid diagonal. So solid diagonal is a diagonal which starts from this edge at the top and goes to this edge at the bottom. That is opposite corners. So this is a solid diagonal. If I want to show you another solid diagonal, then I can show it like this, from here to here. Similarly, if I want to show the third solid diagonal, I can show it like this, from this point to this point, and like that the fourth one. So if you understand now what is the solid diagonal, it is a diagonal sorry, it is a diagonal, okay, but it is not on the same face, it is on the opposite face. Now just for clarity, if this is say A, this is B, this is C, and this is D, and this point is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So solid diagonal red color is joining A to 3. Then this yellow color is joining D to 2. Okay, similarly the pink color is joining what? B to 4, and similarly C to 1 will be the fourth solid diagonal. Is this concept of solid diagonal clear to you? Any doubt in
Yes,
this?
sir.
Okay, now this solid diagonal is used in the question, and the question is formulated. Okay, so all these are solid diagonals. Now let us read the question now. See, now if I extend the height of this, increase the height of this. Now this, I said this is 20, 20, 20, all 20, 20. But if I increase this 20 to 40, I can call this a square prism. Okay, if the height is, if this is a square prism in fact, but it can be a cube if this is equal. But if this is not equal, then I can call it a square prism. So square prism, side of base 30 and axis length 60. So in this case, side of base is 30 here, and axis length is 60. So all these vertical lines are 60 and these lines are 30. Is kept on HP on a corner. So now you understood it is resting on corner on HP. So it is resting on corner on HP. So it will be like this, corner on HP. So initially it should be resting on HP. And what we want here, this point should be what? Corner. Corner means how many point? 1 point. So how will you draw? Square. It will be drawn like this. Here also it will be drawn like this. So initial by reading the first sentence, I have understood this. Any doubt to anyone in this? किसी को ये समझा नहीं है ऐसे क्यों ड्रॉ किया? Unless and until you do this, you will not be able to complete the sum on position of solid. ये समझना चाहिए पहले कि मैंने ये क्यों ड्रॉ किया. पहले जनरली व्हाट वी डू, फर्स्ट वी ड्रॉ दिस एंड देन वी ड्रॉ दिस. आई टोल्ड यू 1 2 3 4, बट यहाँ पे मैंने क्या किया, पहले ये ड्रॉ किया. क्यों? क्योंकि आई वांट अ कॉर्नर हियर. नो सिंस आई वांट अ कॉर्नर हियर, दिस शुड बी 1 पॉइंट. नो दिस शुड बी 1 पॉइंट मींस the pentagon, the square should be drawn like this and not like this. This one is not correct because this will give us what? Edge here. This will give us edge, and that we don't want. We want corner here, corner. So initially, if this is inclined, this should be drawn perpendicular in the stage one. Stage one should be perpendicular. And now, how it is inclined? How you come to know that it is inclined? Because it is resting on corner. Since it is resting on corner, it has to incline. It has to be inclined. Unless and until it is inclined, it cannot rest on corner. So this is what you have to understand. Okay, now it is resting on corner. Now we will read for the angle of inclination. We don't know the angle of inclination, that we will read now. Is kept on the HP on a corner of its base such that one of the solid diagonals, अभी 4 solid diagonals है, उसमें से कोई भी एक solid diagonal is parallel to HP. Now understand the meaning of this word, sentence. Is parallel to HP. Now parallel to HP means which view? Front view, correct? HP means I'm talking about HP. So where it will be reflected? Front view. What you want in front view? You want the solid diagonal like this. So now this is parallel to HP. Are you getting this? This is what? Solid diagonal. This is what? This is solid diagonal. The solid diagonal should be horizontal. That is parallel to HP like this. So we have to incline it in such a way that it should be parallel. So what I am doing now, I am trying to make this a 3D sketch. इसको मैं 3D बनाने की कोशिश करता हूँ. ये 3D ऐसे हो जाएगा, correct? Not exactly like this. This 3D will be like this. Okay, so this will be a 3D sketch. Now, what is solid diagonal? It is a line which is passing from this point to this point, correct? Or a line passing from this point to this point. तो हम किसी भी एक लाइन को कंसिडर करते हैं. Let me consider this line. So if I name it now, understand now. If I name it, how it will be named? A, B, C, D. Correct? 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me take ABCD at the bottom. So this will be A dash. Here we will have B dash and D dash, and here we will have C dash. Similarly, here we will have 1. At this point will be 2 dash, 4 dash, and this point will be 3 dash. Now, can anyone name the solid diagonal? What is the naming of solid diagonal? The one which is shown in the figure.
A dash 3 dash.
A dash
Correct.
3 dash.
Correct. A dash 3 dash. Now, is this A dash 3 dash parallel to HP now? Is it parallel to HP right now? No,
No.
it is
No,
inclined.
sir.
So what we will have to do, we will have to tilt it like this. We will have to tilt it like this so that it will stand on the corner now, and it has to stand on corner in such a way that this parallel to solid diagonal should be parallel to HP. So the second stage will now be like this. Will be like this. Let me draw it here. I'm going to show you the solution after this. Now this is the solid diagonal which should be parallel to. So which is this point? This is A dash and this point is 3 dash. Now this is parallel to HP, and then you can show this is B dash, D dash, and what is this C dash, 1 dash, where is this 2 dash, 4 dash, this is 2 dash, 4 dash, and so on. See, now what I am telling this notation, already if you have solved this sum, then you know how to name this. I don't have to explain these things. Okay, now pay attention for the solid diagonal. This is the solid diagonal. Is it now parallel to HP? Yes, it is parallel to HP. So this is the second stage, and correspondingly now what you will do, you will draw this and you will get it something like this. Okay, I will show you the solution. And then what is to be done in the third stage? Okay, any doubt till this stage 2? Any doubt till stage 2?
No, sir.
I'm going to show you the solution for dotted lines and all those things, but जितना explain किया उसमें किसी को doubt है तो पूछो.
No, sir.
Clear.
Okay, now there are some students who will say that, sir, why you want to incline it on C dash? I want to incline it on A dash. My answer is yes, you can do that as well, and that is also correct. So let me show that to you. So it's not necessary that every time everyone will think in the same way. Okay, so it is okay, no issue. Let me show that to you. See, as far as prism is concerned, you have flexibility. You have flexibility of what? You have flexibility of inclining it on either side. You can also incline it like this. This is the solid diagonal, and now this is resting on what? This is resting on A dash, and C dash is gone here, and this is also solid diagonal. So which solid diagonal we are using now in that case? 1 dash and C dash. So how this is inclined now? Not in this direction, but in this direction. So this is also correct. Okay, this is also correct. Both are correct. Both are correct. As far as this particular sum is concerned, both are correct. So what you should do is, while you are solving the sum, you should think. You should think that, अरे ऐसे कर सकते हैं क्या? ऐसे कर सकते हैं क्या? हाँ. So what will happen when you are solving it in examination? If it is offline examination and if you are solving it, you will get confused. ऐसा करना है कि ऐसे करना है? गलत क्या है? सही क्या है? Okay, and that time it will be a mess. All the questions cannot be solved in this way. दोनों साइड से इंक्लाइन कर सकते हैं, सब क्वेश्चन को ऐसा पॉसिबल नहीं है. कुछ क्वेश्चंस को ही कर सकते हैं. So you have to understand it. Is it making any difference to the question that is asked? No, it is parallel. Yes, parallel. Is it resting on HP? Yes, resting on HP. It is resting on. Is it resting on corner? Yes, it is resting on corner. Is this solid diagonal? Yes, this is solid diagonal. So this is correct. You have to think it like this. Now, so if you draw it like this, then you will get, I'm sorry for this. So we will get this complete view here. And then here this line will be dotted. This will be till this point only. And this is not there. Like this. Okay. Now what is the third stage? Third stage will be inclined to VP at 30 degree. What is inclined to VP? Go to the question again. Read the question again. A square prism side of base axis of length is kept on HP on a corner. Is it HP on corner? Yes, correct. HP on corner. Is the distance between top view and XY line given? No. You can see that I have made a mess here. Why I have made a mess? Because I have not kept sufficient distance between the XY line and the top view. See, all these points are getting mingled in one another. है ना, ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए. So what I have drawn is not correct. I should have drawn it slightly here. मैंने नीचे draw करना चाहिए था, तब ये बराबर आता था. So you remember this. Such that the solid one of the solid diagonal of the prism is parallel to HP, वो तो हो गया, and inclined to VP. So this solid diagonal is now inclined to VP. Which solid diagonal we are talking about? 1 dash 3 dash 1 dash C dash. कहाँ पर है 1 dash C dash? See, 1 dash C dash is this. So this is 1, and which is C, this red color is 1 dash C dash. Here we have 1 and here we have C. Now this is inclined to VP at 30 degree. So only this has to be now tilted in such a way that this line 1C, which is horizontal, will now become like this. At what angle? 30 degree. That's it. Take distances in compass and plot the points. Take distances and plot the points. You can do it like this, or you can also do it in this direction. Not necessary here. You can do it like this also, 30 degree. दोनों साइड से कर सकते हैं. This is also correct. This is also correct. Okay, so I will show you the solution. I hope this is clear. This is visible to all of you. No. This is the first stage where we know that this has to be drawn like this only. ये point ऐसे आना चाहिए. Okay. Then this will be drawn. See, this is solid diagonal 1 dash C dash. 1 के साथ कभी C नहीं आता है ना. 1 के नीचे क्या आता है? हमेशा A आता है. बट ये 1 किसको ज्वाइन कर रहा है? C को ज्वाइन कर रहा है. So you have to understand from this also. 1 to C मतलब अच्छा C तो third point का है, 1 तो first point का है. So that is solid diagonal. Now next is to draw it like this. Now understand how you will rotate it like this. First is this point. Okay, this point. Which is this point? A dash. A dash. Am I audible to you, students?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. This is A dash. Okay. Now, do we know the inclination of this line? We don't know the inclination. In earlier sum, we were in the few sums before we were knowing the inclination. In the previous sum of pentagon, we were not knowing the inclination, but we were knowing this distance. So we could locate this point 1 dash. Now in this, neither we know the inclination nor we know this vertical distance. So how will you obtain this point now? See now, from this point A dash, a perpendicular is drawn on this solid diagonal. So it meets at point P dash. Take this much distance in the compass. Take this much distance in the compass. Now, from this point E, draw a vertical line. Now, why we are drawing a vertical line? Because see, this line is perpendicular to this line. This line, solid diagonal, is perpendicular to this line. Now, this solid diagonal is going to become horizontal. It is going to become horizontal in this sketch. Now, if this is going to become horizontal, this line will become what? Vertical. That's why we have drawn this vertical line. Of what length? This point E dash to P dash. Take this much distance in compass. On this vertical line, cut an arc, you will get this point P dash. This is which point? P dash. Now, there is no physical significance of this point. It is just drawn for P dash. After you get this P dash, draw a horizontal line like this. Horizontal line. Okay, now from this P dash, what is the distance of C dash? Can you take this distance in compass P dash to C dash from the initial stage 1? Yes, we can take this P dash C dash distance in compass. So P dash, obtain the point C dash. P dash 1 dash, can we take this distance in compass P dash 1 dash? Yes, P dash 1 dash. हो गया. Once you get this point C dash 1 dash, point 3 dash can be obtained. यहाँ से कंपास में इतना डिस्टेंस लो, यहाँ से कंपास में इतना डिस्टेंस लो, दो आर्क कट कर दो, you will get the point 3 dash. Okay, so now these things you should understand. Unless and until you draw it, students, you will not understand. Okay, so next time these things should not मतलब ये I should not tell these things, because if you do it you will not have any questions. Now there are some students who may ask, sir 3 dash point कैसे मिलेगा? I don't think I should answer it now. I have told it to you right now, but then I don't think I should answer it. How do you get this point 3 dash? It is simple geometry, students. You have studied it in 8th 9th standard. Perpendicular lines draw karo. Okay. Also remember that this angle is 90 degree. This angle is 90 degree. This should be 90 degree. This should be 90 degree. Okay. So I don't have any point in explaining it. I can explain it number of times. मेरा काम वही है, एक्सप्लेन करना है, unless until you understand. But then this will be lifelong process. Unless until you do it on your own, you will keep asking questions. I don't have any issue in answering the questions, but then I want you to learn and think and learn. Okay, coming back to this. So this E से निकलने वाले दो लाइन, तीन लाइन, which one? E से निकलने वाले सॉरी A है ना, ये दिस इज A. यहाँ से निकलने वाले तीनों लाइंस डॉटेड होंगे. This is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. All these 3 lines will be dotted, out of which you will get a covering of this continuous line till here. So till here it will be continuous and then it will be dotted. Next, what is done? The solid diagonal is inclined at 30 degree. And these two views are drawn. These two views are drawn. Okay. So what is the sequence? This was drawn first, then you will draw this 2, then you will draw this as 3, you will draw this as 4, then this will be 5, and this will be 6. Always remember, the sequence will always be like this: 1 2 3 4 5 6, or it can be like this also. It can be like this also: 1 2. If this is 2, then this will be 3 and this will be 4, and if this is 4, then this will be 5 and this will be 6. Okay, so this will be drawn in which case? In case it is resting on VP. Okay, so this is drawn resting on HP. Any doubt to you, students?
No, sir.
Okay, so this is a typical question. Now this question is on prism. Okay, is on prism. I will give you one question to solve now. That will be on cube. Same ऐसे ही question है, cube पे है. I am not going to provide the solution. Okay, students, there is one more concept that is to be explained here in prism, and that is about the true length. So that numerical I will take in next lecture. Now quickly before we wind up, I am going to tell you what exactly is a pyramid. You all know what is a pyramid. Let me tell you, a pyramid is like this. A pyramid is like this. So what are the points in the pyramid? The points in the pyramid are so this is the pyramid, and the remaining edges can be drawn like this. This point is called as apex. This is pyramid. One more mistake that student do is, क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में आता है प्रिज्म का और स्टूडेंट सॉल्व करते हैं पिरामिड का या वाइसा वर्सा. तो ये ध्यान रखो कि क्वेश्चन प्रिज्म का है या पिरामिड का है. Then this is called as base edge. Base edge. How many base edges are there? 4 base edges. This is called as slant edge. Slant edge. So sometimes question is asked on slantage also, कि slantage के बारे में information दिया है. Okay, so you should know what is slantage, what is apex, and what is the base edge. Similarly, we can have a pentagonal pyramid also. A pentagonal pyramid also. So a pentagonal pyramid would look something like this. And then this will be the fifth point. Any doubt in this pyramid?
Sir, pyramid has 5 sides, right? 5 faces, right?
Pyramid has pyramid is not upside. It's not speciality or it's not of size side. Pyramid has a apex and base. Now, will it have 4 or 5 base edges? It depends on which pyramid it is. Okay, pyramid have apex and it has base, whereas prism has only base, 2 bases. Clear?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay. Now, before we leave, see, if this is the pyramid, then what will be the top view of this? Top view of this. The top view of this will be drawn like this. So suppose a pyramid is resting on HP. Let me draw this as HP. This is the horizontal plane. Okay, horizontal plane like this. So what will be the front view? Can anyone tell me what will be the front view of this?
Sir, it will be a dot and a triangle, sir.
Triangle.
It will be a triangle. So front view will be a triangle and top view will be a square, correct?
Yes, sir.
So we cannot draw the triangle. We cannot draw the triangle. First, we'll have to draw the square. Okay, because we know the base edge, length of base edge. So first we'll draw the square. Suppose this is 20, 20, all are 20. Okay, then we have to project this to obtain the front view. How will you project it? Something like this. And now to draw the front view, it will be like this. Now we don't know where exactly is the apex. So in order to obtain apex, what will we do? We will draw lines like this and we'll project it. Now this point is apex. This is the length of axis. Suppose 60 mm like this. And in pyramid, you will always see this. What is this? See, this is the slant edge. You can notice this slant edge. This slant edge. Okay, so there is a line which is joining this corner to the apex. So there is a line which is joining apex to this corner. Similarly, from every corner there is a line which is joining the apex like this. So in pyramid you will always get lines like this if it is a square pyramid like this. Similarly, pentagonal and hexagonal. I think the time is over. I will stop now, and so we will see more on this in the coming lecture. By that time, I think all of you should practice few sums on position of solid, that is prisms. I'm repeating, unless and until you practice it, it will be difficult for you to solve it in the examination and solve the further sums. Any questions before I stop?